This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
And we're back with somebody that
I haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen him probably since he left the show.
Two guys living together in the same apartment, yet they don't see each other.
I got my straight card now. So,
and of course, we're talking about Eric Englehardt, one of our proudest
EMS
supporters.
Eric.
EMS Eric, look for him on Instagram.
Sits on our board.
One of our proudest supporters. Eric, you've been there with us the whole way. You were, it was actually a job to get you in because you're a busy guy.
And he was pre-cameras also.
Yes, you were. You sat in on a couple episodes.
Scott Stevens. Sat in for Scott Stevens. He sat in for Tara Manilone.
Yeah. Well, that was the favor. It's just like I got to come in for Scott.
And the funny thing is, we drove up in separate cars to that too.
Eric, thanks so much for coming and sitting down with us. Thanks for all you do for us. When Mike first approached you about coming on this show, what did you think? What was going through your head?
I was very hesitant, number one, because you guys were just starting off. But when I got here, it was just like talking to a couple guys, going over what I've been through over 30 years of doing EMS.
It's a tough sell. Hey, come down to my basement and record this show that not many people listen to.
I mean, since then, me and Eric have sat around a table a million times and talked, but it's the same thing. The conversations go the same way.
But no, you guys come a long way. You start your third season, which is fantastic. You guys are doing great. Big people. Yeah, of course.
Season 3 is going to blow everybody away.
Yeah, like you said, it's first one's like you said, it's going to be a knockout.
Well, so you've been responsible also for bringing us some other family members that we've had in.
Well, we got Ashley,
we got Pamela.
Pamela. Well, we got Ashley, Mark, and Nick through Eric. We got Pamela.
And that's about all you did. You're not doing your job.
We'll give them Tara for that one too. Dr. Cohen, who we got through Tara.
That's right. Whenever we put the call out, Eric's always the first one to step up and say, "Hey, what do you need?" As a matter of fact, he texted me earlier on today and said, "Hey, I can be there early if you need me help any help setting up." And well, we need a lot of help setting up, but we eventually got it.
As you can tell with the duct tape behind the scenes,
the cameras won't pick up the duct tape.
We make it work.
So I've been on TV sets. There's a lot of duct tape on TV sets. A lot of it.
That's why they call them like the key grip, because they grip stuff with tape and all that stuff.
But after you recorded your episode and you felt comfortable and stuff and you got it out, your episode, if I remember correctly, did very, very well. It was the suffering of EMS. And did you get any feedback coming in?
I did. I got a lot of feedback, actually. They said that it was fantastic because a lot of people don't want to talk about, EMS in general because we're kind of like the stepchildren of first responders. And
yet they're the people we call when we really need help.
And that's the thing. Like, we're always the one, if you're hurt or sick, we're the first ones you call. And we always get put on the back burner no matter what. And it's sad, but we're used to it. And that's the sad part. We're used to it. We're not looking for any recognition or anything like that. This is what we're paid to do. This is what we do. This is our job. We care about people. We go out and help them. But they were really proud that, at least somebody got up to say something and say, hey, listen, that's what EMS is all about.
And especially during the pandemic.
You guys never stopped.
No, we were constantly going. 7 days a week.
And you had to go in people's houses that maybe we didn't know a whole lot about it. You had to go in people's houses. I'm sure it was a little uncomfortable.
If I'm not mistaken, you never tested positive either, did you?
No, I tested positive actually a year ago, Christmas.
Yeah, me too. You gave it to me, you son of a bitch.
So did I. It must have been all three of us.
Was that three-way we had?
Mine was last New Year's. Last New Year's I had.
Because I got it like a week after you. I'm sure you gave it to me.
I got it like 2 days after Christmas last year. But, during the
Did you pass it on to anybody else? Were you the giving person?
So my kids tested negative. They didn't test positive till after New Year's. But everybody's doing fine now, and it's amazing how at the peak of the pandemic that I got nothing, and when I got it, I was asymptomatic. I had no issues. My daughter was sick; she wanted to go get tested. Went over, got tested. They called me and told me I was positive, and she was negative.
The funny thing is people on the front lines, because I saw this, I never stopped during lockdown. The people on the front lines, it seems like they were a little bit more resilient to it, and you have to be, because what do you do? Like, although you're a first responder, you're not usually the first one on the scene, but you're one of the more essential people. You're the people that shows up, and it's the firemen and the cops go, oh, thank God EMS is here.
100%.
Yet you don't get your due.
Or even like how many times in your career did you go on like a heart attack call, CPR call?
Oh,
you can't wait for EMS to get there. Thank God you guys are here.
Minutes or hours.
No policeman or fireman want to sit there and do CPR. They don't, because that's not their job. They don't want to do it. During the pandemic, all the officers and everybody stood outside. They waited for us to get there, and they never even came inside. So we always ran in. There were times I went in with no mask, and wondering if I'm going to get COVID when I come out. And knock wood, thank God, I didn't get anything till after the peak went down. But now COVID's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Now, can we talk about the greatest success story out of our podcast that happened to you? Can we talk about that?
We can.
We can. Can we?
Let's go.
All right. So you are currently involved in a relationship. All right. And it is. I don't want to say it's because of us, but I think we might have had a little. We put the Cupid wings on. We put the Cupid wings.
Do you know how Tara got up to podcast that day?
Oh, Eric Drover. So Eric and Tara are now, every time I see you're together, you're thick as thieves, and I love it. I really do. I think you two are very well suited for each other.
Well, and that's what I said in the beginning. I'm like, I pretty much made the introduction.
So the suffering brought them together. Do you see where I'm going with that? The suffering brought them together.
As long as the suffering doesn't tear them apart, we're doing good.
I think we're okay.
No, I love it. It's a great success story. If our show does nothing else, at least we facilitated a great relationship between two great people. All right. Eric, I always appreciate you, brother. Always do.
Hey, Kev, I mean, talk about suffering, right? We're sitting here in the Grand Saloon. We got these TVs all over. I'm watching the Immaculate Reception. I must have saw it 60 times today.
I know. Poor Franco Harris passed, for those of you who don't know.
It's like torture watching that thing.
Yeah, everybody had a little soft spot for the Steelers in the 70s, though. Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris,
Yeah, well, you front
Joe
runners,
Green.
you front runners were. Anyway, back to Eric. Were you saying something?
Eric, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Thank you for always being there. And listen, we look forward to great things between you. I want an invitation if anything does ever come of this. I want an invitation.
He just can't move out anytime soon.
I'll wear this. We'll actually get tuxedo imprints.
Suffering podcast tuxedos. Now we're onto something.
No, we'll just put a tuxedo, like the T-shirt. It's like it says I'm formal, but I like to party.
We get Suffering podcast ties. Yeah. Little logos all over. Wow.
Except the new logo's got a face on it, so our mug's got to be on it.
Trying to take your cards with you.
All right, Eric, I appreciate you, and thank you so much. We're going to be right back with you in just a moment.
Sit your ass down.
And we're back with our very special next guest, who has been one of our supporters again from the beginning when we were only on audio.
Pre-camera.
And that is the RoRo Antinuccio, who
Now, councilwoman.
Oh, you're bringing that right out of the gate.
Roselle Park.
Yes.
and like any good Italian, you
Yes.
never come empty-handed.
Never, ever, ever.
I think the last time you brought us something as well.
Oh, sauce. I brought you sauce.
You brought us sauce. That's right. This time,
sauce.
This time it's love knots.
Oh, cookies.
And what else is in there?
Biscotti, my famous biscotti.
Oh, that's your famous.
They're famous.
So
They are.
You've had a lot.
Lost all this weight. Now I'm going to gain it.
Yes.
Because you're going to give me cookies.
I have to feed people.
I've watched your transformation online.
Yes.
I've watched you from a distance. We talk occasionally.
Yeah.
And I've watched you really change your life. And you got to feel 100% better.
I feel great. Absolutely. It's just another piece of the puzzle, I say, because listen, transformation happens from the inside first, And for me, it did. It happened inside out, and it was the last piece. I just needed to be free in that area, and I ended up calling one a nutrition coach, so I did invest. I just got to a point. I was 46 years old, and I was like, how do I diet? I gave up and knowing anything. And
I'm sure you feel a lot better about yourself now too, right?
oh yeah.
Shape, you always feel good. You know?
Yes, the confidence, because you don't have that blanket of whatever you carry around. So, yeah, I mean, it's confidence, but it's still humble. It's not, I'm not walking around like, hey guys, I'm here. Nah.
So we connected originally through Instagram or somebody I knew was following you, and I just jumped on and I said,
yes.
Ro would be a good person to have on the show.
Yeah.
And I reach out to you. Guy calls you out of nowhere and says, hey, listen, would you like to come on the show? Like, yeah, all right, sure, whatever. What did you think when they first made contact with you?
Honestly, well, you guys came off right off the bat, like just genuine, authentic, real, and even just, your name,
Put up a good front.
Yeah, that's true. But I do my homework, so. No, and honestly, it was an honor for me. I was humbled by it. I mean, and I was intrigued. Like, for you guys, I always say, you're very unique. You share people's stories and hearts and what they've been through, and a lot of people don't do that,
And RoRo shared a lot when she came on.
It was with a huge curveball.
We didn't even know about.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about, any of your history. We were just,
Yeah.
We actually were bringing you on about the difficulties of being a comedian.
Yeah.
And that's, in all honesty, it's like, because I know that life is very difficult. There's several different facets of it that are difficult. And then you throw us this curveball when we get down there, we're like,
and it's
Yeah.
we
not prepared for this.
It is heavy.
Me and Kevin have like pre-production meetings, and we used to go to the bagel place, talk about like what angle we're going to take, and then we'd have like post-production, like how do you think the show went? After you left, we just sat there and went like, holy shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no! Listen, if it made you feel better, that's what we're here for.
It's heavy,
Get it off your
yeah.
chest, yeah.
and then Ro came out to our live event at Hackensack Brewing.
Yes,
Which
that was fun.
Alex Ferenzi from Hackensack Brewing is here tonight.
To show up tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, and you've been very generous to us but it was nice.
We went to one of Ro's shows.
Yes,
over
you
at the
guys
Comedy
did.
Dojo.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is hysterical.
With I met Vic. I can't tell you Vic's last name.
Cedeno.
Cezanne. Okay.
Cedeno, yeah, Vic
So-
Cedeno, and then there's also Larry Bea.
Larry Bea, which is another one I've been in contact
Yeah,
with. Larry
he's
reached
great.
out to us, and hopefully we're going to try to get Larry on the show.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I know he's always all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't even know where his home base is, but we trade stuff
That's
back and
true.
forth.
Is it New
San
York?
Francisco a lot.
No. Oh, that's true. He goes back and forth. Yeah.
So what's next on the horizon for you? I know you're out there doing some shows. I just saw you were in Rockaway.
Yes, Rockaway. I actually was just saying that I have a show coming up next week. Listen, comedians will be like, "Can you do a show in an hour?"
Yeah.
No, so I have some shows coming up. We have a divorce show coming up, actually. That's going to be really interesting. Yes. So all the comedians are divorced, and we're going to like.
Is everybody in the audience divorced? 'Cause I don't make it.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to
I
be
was
set
divorced
up.
20 years ago. Does that count?
Listen, then you have material, my friend.
No, I always say that thank God we never had children because it would have been Rosemary's Baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because she was Satan. She was Satan. I'm pretty sure of it.
Listen, I dated Satan's brother, so
Oh, okay.
a couple of them. No.
Yeah, usually exes turn out to be satanic in some way or another.
Yeah.
But you've always been there for us, and we always want to be there for you.
Thank you.
So in the future, when you go out and you become this big famous comedian, don't forget about the small people. And you got to come out. You got to come in, and we got to sit down and have an updated, long-term
Absolutely.
discussion. Because we're on camera now.
Yeah. Sure. No,
Some
absolutely.
people's lives change. Some people still do the same thing. Some people get into politics. And we may have a president.
No, it's funny, and I'll say this really fast. It's not even about the politics. It's about being a servant, and I keep saying it because that's what's on my heart. And politics it's just a word of today. But I'm saying, for really to be a servant of the people is what I'm bringing to the table. I want to be authentic, genuine, really do something for someone. That's why I'm saying yes to that.
You have a whole new thing to talk about because this is the second time you've run.
Yes.
And the first time you lost by like 10 votes.
10 votes, yeah.
10 votes.
10 people.
And you had the fortitude to step it up and go again.
Yeah. So, and someone actually texted me, and I won by quote unquote 200% this time because I ended up getting those plus another. So but again, it's really God's plan. If that is meant to be, I'm in it 100%. I'm going to give my all. So it opened the door, so I'm jumping in.
So give out your Instagram again, because I always am delighted to see your Instagram and your Facebook. You put on the best pictures, all different angles.
All different angles. I put one up for the angle police.
Wait, the new angle is down below? I saw that.
I might have to do one upside down soon. 2023, I'm going to be standing on my head or something. I don't know.
Well, I do all my posts upside down now, so my wrinkles go away.
The Italian basement kitchen.
Yeah, but you can find me on Rosabella38 on Instagram, and then RoRo Antinuccio on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll always follow you. You're part of our family.
Yes, definitely fam. Listen, if I'm bringing my biscotti to you, it's family. Okay?
You were one at the beginning. I mean, what episode? I mean,
Yeah.
That was a 20 something, I think.
Yeah.
We've done almost 100 plus episodes since then.
Wow. Since then,
And we went from a few hundred to a few 100,000.
Wow.
So it's a little different now.
That's beautiful. Well, you guys deserve it. You're really genuine. I love it. Your heart is huge, and keep going and reach the world, because people's stories will touch other people, And
That's exactly it.
That's what we
keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's what we hope for.
Yeah.
Ro, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Not row, it's row.
More professional.
No, because she's half a row now. Half a row.
Hold on. It's
Yeah, baby.
row.
There you go. Look at that. That's
row.
it.
We're gonna get
Look.
black.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, and we'll
Thank
be
you.
right back after this short word from our sponsors.
Sit your ass down.
And we are back with our second anniversary at Grande Saloon with somebody who's had a very big impact on the way I do certain things with my business, and that's Mr. Wally Green.
The Wally Green.
The Wally Green, NYC ping pong champ, ping pong.
World champ. Germany, North Korea. Look at
His
him.
cheeks are good.
Yeah, he's blushing.
Well, Wally, thanks so much for coming all this way, man. And you brought your partner with you.
Yeah. I brought my boy with me.
I will say this, Wally, I challenged Wally to a ping pong match in the Grande Saloon, and he conveniently doesn't have a
I
ping pong.
told him he could have a tennis racket and you could have a guitar pick.
I could have a
Still gonna
wall.
beat him.
I could have a wall. Listen, I started playing ping pong up against the wall, and I realized the wall's undefeated.
Yeah.
Wally, what's going on? What's new in the world of you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been doing what I do every day, and it's been interesting year. Getting ready for next year, actually.
So what's coming up next year?
Oh man, well, I still got stuff coming up this year. I still have my actually no, that's next year, February. See, thinking ahead. So next year I have my MSG Network story coming out. Oh really? Yeah. Cool. So I guess they're waiting for Black History Month to put the story out. So that'll be coming out next year. Next year I'll start my book. I gotta do it. I said there's no way next year doesn't go by and I not finish that book, and then my documentaries.
Well, so you gave us a snippet when you were on the show, and you gave us an hour snippet of your story, and I know there was a lot of stuff. I know for a fact there was a lot of stuff left out. So if it's
Listen, I drove him to Hoboken after that. A lot of stuff he left out of the show.
Yeah,
he talked a bit.
with an hour, what can you do? What can you do? So when we obviously got introduced through Chris Krimitsos, and I wanted you to come on the show. What were your thoughts on that? These two guys want to come on the show,
No, but nothing like that. Because, I've figured out like over the pandemic, when we really have when we really didn't have anything to do, I figured out that, I need to tell my story so that people can be inspired and motivated. Like I never felt it that way or at that level until the pandemic, and when the pandemic came, we didn't have much to do. And I was like, what should I be doing? And someone just hit me and said, maybe you should be telling your story to inspire a lot of people that, came from where you came from. And so, when I met you guys, I was really happy because, I made this crazy goal actually last year. And I said, you know what, by the end of the year, I want to have done 100 podcasts. So I made a goal. I beyond surpassed the goal.
What are you up to now?
Like 270.
Was this like, I just want to score 5 points in a ping pong game?
Yeah, exactly. Set a goal.
Yeah.
Let me score 5 points and then
That little goal.
That little, yeah. It was that little goal, and like I said, any platform that I could get on that someone can see and hear my story, I always want to do it, So
Well, people heard your story a lot because your show did quite well.
Yeah,
it did quite well, and I think you're an amazing guy because you take your suffering that you had in your past and you've figured it out. Like you figured out the algorithm of life, pretty much. And there's a lot more to learn. Obviously, I'm not saying you got it all figured out, but
your story should be told. I mean, you got a great survival story. I mean, you came from the streets and turned it into this international Wally Green.
Well, I like those little goals. I like that idea of the little goals you talk about because I'm a big believer in keeping your world small. So when you're having a tough time, you don't have to travel to Florida. You just got to make it to the next town.
yes,
Those little goals to keep your world small, and it served you well. It served you well,
real well.
And now I hear you're going down to Podfest in Florida.
yeah,
Possibly.
yeah.
We may have to hook up down there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll be down there, same microphones, doing the same thing. A little bit quieter of a place, but
Maybe a little bit bigger table.
yeah, a little bit more of an intimate setting, I think.
Should have brought a couch in here, just 3 people sitting on a couch.
Again, I'm going to say this again. I feel like I'm in Ford's Theater and John Wilkes Booth's going to come up behind me and put one right behind my ear. But I'm sure life's calmed down for you a little bit from where you were when you grew up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your stability is there.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. It's totally different.
The question, the one thing I want to say to you is the anxiety you must have felt growing up, never knowing where you're going to sleep when you were out on the streets in New York, to the stability you have now. What's changed in your mind, the way your mindset works?
I think now, I'm always able to push myself, and I'm always able to understand that, no matter what situation I'm going through, that things are going to be okay, no matter what. I never, like just the other day, this is a smaller example, but, you can kind of get the idea. The other day, I have a hard drive, which has all my videos in it. Every single video I've made is in this one hard drive. And this one hard drive, which is brand new, decided it doesn't want to work. Now, I could flip out and go crazy and be like, oh my God, my videos are gone and blah, blah, blah. But I just look at myself and say, you know what? Whatever, I'll just make new ones.
Make more videos.
And that's how my mindset is now. I'll just make new ones. I'm not going to go crazy over this. The energy that I put into going crazy over this hard drive, I can use that same energy to make new videos. So yeah.
Well, even with the small little tweaks you did on you looked at my TikTok, you look at my phone, okay, I like this, and I followed your path, and it's served quite well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So
He's like a self-promoter, He's like a social media genius.
I like to see people do well. So if I learn something and something works for me, then I want to share it with someone else. Like, I don't know, I just enjoy doing it. It's just something I like to do. Like, if I could share the things that I learn, it's cool. Like the other day, I was with this lady named Renee Noor, and she has a pretty big following on TikTok. On Clubhouse. And so I told her, I said, listen, let's do something together. And so she interviewed me, and then we had she has this thing called, I think, Women Warriors. I can't remember the name of it, but I got on a Zoom call with them, and it's all to talk about TikTok. It's literally supposed to be 30 minutes. This thing went into 3 hours. It was, and I was enjoying every moment of it because I was like, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that. Don't do that. And, it's like for me to share something that I know with someone and it could help them, Like, I don't know. I just love doing it. It just makes me happy.
Well, I mean, you're like a give back guy. I mean, everything that you went through and your upbringing and everything, and it's you're like the type of person that really realizes what success is all about and to be successful.
I think it's got a lot to do with karma, and your karma is really whatever mess you made of karma when you were younger. You're fixing that mess right now by giving it back to other people. It's nothing is yours. It's free to the world type of deal, and you gotta like that no matter what.
It's admirable that he just wants to help people now too. You're all about helping people. And that's great. But fantastic.
I love learning from you.
You went from robbing them to helping them.
So I follow Wally on Clubhouse. I'll go into rooms when I see you on there. I'll just listen to some of the rooms I go in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here. This one's not for me. It's like empowering black women or something. I'm like, nah, this is not me. This is I don't fit this genre. But I love learning from you, and I have a feeling I'm going to learn a lot from you in the future. I appreciate you coming and sitting down with us, and I appreciate all the support you gave.
Yeah, dude, like I tell you,
I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go back out there.
I really appreciate you coming out. I mean, we both really appreciate it. I mean,
It was the TikTok video that got you here.
Yeah, it was. Actually, it was. I saw the TikTok video.
Wait, the one with us dancing?
I did several of them for us dancing.
You didn't know we had dance moves like that, did you?
I think you did a Christmas one too.
Yeah.
That one's hilarious.
And that's got Andrew's face in it. It's got his face and our other friend Mike DePalma's face.
See, and then we have you to thank for that, because Kevin would never. Listen, I don't know how to do it. Kevin does all that.
Well, the funny thing is, since he doesn't know how to do it, I could really mess with him. I got a couple photographs that I've photoshopped that he's not going to be real proud of. His father will think it's funny though.
Yeah, we did spend a couple days in Florida together. So I'm sure there's some pictures.
We got close. We got real close. Wally, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and I look forward to great things from you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Wally, thanks again, man.
And we're going to be right back with our next guest.
Sit your ass down.
And we are back with one of the more controversial guests that we had on the show.
A long-awaited arrival tonight too. She was here from the beginning.
And we're talking about, of course, Pamela Vivirito.
That's okay.
The suffering of an abused woman. Okay, so
That was early on too. That was pre-camera.
Pamela's. You're the first person to like our posts. You're the first person to be at our
You
events.
guys are awesome.
You follow us, you support us, and you don't know how much it means to us that
Well, you
happens.
don't know how much you guys mean to me. You actually have been there to help me through what I'm going through.
So
That's what we're here for.
I do want to talk about, there was some controversy with your episode where I got a, and we're not here to vet anybody's stories. We're here to let you tell your truth. When your episode aired, I had gotten a message through our website from, I guess, the current girlfriend of your ex. Okay, saying your story is all bullshit, and it wouldn't be fair of me not to mention it. Your story's all bullshit. It's not the truth.
Happened that way.
My response was very vanilla, where I said, again, that was your truth. We're not here to check validity of your story. If it's the truth, it'll come out in the wash.
Yeah.
And I did tell you about that. How did that make you feel when somebody discounted your story?
It's okay, because there's ones out there. Let them believe what they want to believe. I know the truth, and I've been through it.
Yeah.
She's obviously in denial. She doesn't see that real person, the true person that is behind closed doors, because he always made himself look like Mr. Perfect. He looked like he did no wrong. And I'm not saying I have literally forgiven and moved forward.
Well, that's why you're going to come out on top, because you've moved on.
And I've actually told him I forgive you for everything that's happened, because I'm not perfect either. No one is perfect in life, but it happened. And it's a learning experience. I think God put me through certain things for reasons to learn from.
I've said it many times. You're always in the right place.
His toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Yeah. I have a lot of battle scars, but it's made me who I am. That's how I look at it.
So when we first spoke to you about coming on the show,
There's a whole show going on over here.
I know I
Amazing.
don't know what's going on. We connected over social media, but there was a mutual friendship. You knew one of our friends.
Yeah.
and we invited you to come on the show. What did you think when you first were invited onto the show?
I was intrigued and
Skeptical?
happy. No, not skeptical, because to me, I was glad somebody recognized what I went through. And it was nice to know there's others out there that can understand what I went through and want to be able to have me help, or I should say help me get through it.
I'm sure your episode helped a lot of people.
And that's all, if I could just help that one person, one young teenager, one adult that listens and knows they are better than that. And I'm still dealing with it every day, you know.
It all starts with one person.
Right. I struggle with my self-esteem every day. I have a lot of friends that talk to me, and sometimes it's hard when they only want one thing. And that's, to me, the hardest thing, to think that maybe that's all I'm good for. But then I think to myself, I'm better than that. So you guys helped me through a lot.
I'm still trying to find out what else I'm good for.
Yeah, me too.
Spam?
I know podcast isn't one of them.
Was it episode 91? Is it 91?
Episode 9.
Episode 9.
9.
Episode
Okay.
9, and then we just did 9D9.
D9.
So
Telling the nines.
yeah, well, so things are moving up, but I'm glad that you're with us. I'm glad that you've been with us through the whole thing. And
It's funny because we talk all the time. Every time something goes up on Instagram or something, you're the
Right
first
there.
one to comment on it.
Well, because again, you guys mean everything to me. You know, you got me through a lot.
but we do appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you do for us, every way that you support us, because you do support us a lot. And we look forward to continuing seeing you at all these different events.
Oh, definitely. And if ever you get to a point where you have others that need to talk, and
Actually, that's a good point. So I got somebody reached out to me. I think it was on the website. Their daughter was having problems with a possible abusive situation.
yeah,
And I said, I can't help you, but I have somebody for you. And you did speak with them, correct?
just let me know.
That's part of the family.
What I'm there for. As long as I can help somebody, you know, that's my goal.
You're part of our family, and you know, like we say all the time, we can't help everybody, but we know people that can help a lot of people in different ways these days.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
if it's just one person that can listen and get it, that's all that matters.
Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight. And we look forward to
Show
great
up at everything we do.
That's okay.
Thanks
That's what friends are for.
We look forward to seeing you again in the future.
It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
This is one that I've been dreading because I was always expecting to get a punch in the mouth.
And he should. You deserve.
From this
If he
one.
punched you in the mouth, you deserved it.
I would be like, okay, that's it. I got that. And we are sitting here with the
Probably our biggest fan.
correct, and that's Mr. Frank Failace. Thank you so much for loaning me your son.
You want
an
him?
hour a week.
Not loan, you can have him.
Spoken like a true gentleman, but I don't want him. You might have to pay me. We'll work out a deal.
Big Christmas present. He'll give me.
I just want to tell you, everything Michael does is my fault.
He always says the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
I tell him right from the beginning.
I've known you as long as I've known Mike, because I used to work with your other son Frank, and I've watched. I've heard all the stories. I've heard everything about you. Mostly the Lemoore Days stories.
Don't believe them.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're an interesting person to bring on this show because you've watched your son just go through hell and come out the other side. So tell me what you think about his journey as far as this show goes.
Well, number one, not because my son, I'm very proud of him. Because he never told me what he was going through. I knew from his ex-wife that he had been in the accident with the car, with the shooting and all that. Never told me he went to jail. I figured, well, he did it. He's got. Until he told me he did the podcast. I said, Michael, what's the podcast doing?
Yeah, he didn't know anything about the shooting until I came out on episode 9.
Because it was always three. It could have been three people. It was him, right? You, the Red Alert cop, and the state trooper. Nobody told me who it was. So I figured, if he ain't gonna tell me, no.
You're right.
He's the one that's gonna live with. And I just got mad at him because why didn't you tell me?
You're right.
He knows that he can tell me anything.
You know, you don't want to. He probably, and tell me if I'm speaking out of school.
I know exactly where you're going.
He was probably a little ashamed at the way he was feeling because because he's a type A personality, and he always wanted to make you proud. And if he were to tell you that, then that would be in his eyes. And it's a convoluted thing. It really is a convoluted thing because I know it's not the truth. But he probably didn't want to disappoint you. But how do you go tell your father, hey, look, I'm feeling certain ways. I'm feeling this way.
And you don't want to drag anybody down into it with you. You know?
He would never. I told him there's two things. Just never lie to me. If you did this, I may not like it, but just tell me the truth. He'll tell you. Once you lie, it's over. I am going to believe anything else you say. Because I told him, Mike, why did you come to me? Why did you tell me? I didn't know what happened until I found out, doing the podcast.
He said it's not the easiest thing to come out and tell someone,
I know.
especially your parents. You know?
I agree.
Absolutely. I know the feeling all too well. My parents didn't get it. My parents didn't understand. I didn't really talk about it. They just saw me turn it into a monster.
Into a monster, yeah.
That's why I sympathize with that. But
see, I think I hid it a little bit better than you did. I hid the inner demon more than you did.
Yeah, I can see that because I just fell apart. You held it together a little longer than I did. It was just hurting on the inside.
This podcast with you, to me, probably the best thing that happened to me.
It was, because you know what it did?
Because he threw up, you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
He let it all out.
He faced that prairie fire. Since you said episode 9, I got to say prairie fire.
It's visceral, though.
You know what it did for me was it got me a great partner. It got me a great business partner. It got me a great podcast partner. And it got me somebody who I knew from when I used to work with Frank, but I didn't know him. And when he came in, it's when I really started to know him. So that's what that episode did for me.
So I don't even think my father knows how we actually met, though. We met in a group therapy.
Yeah.
For PTSD.
Well, I found out through your podcast.
Yeah, through Dr.
I found the whole thing when I'm sitting there, I'm saying, because I watch it with a friend of mine. I said, I don't know what they're talking about. I was like, I just found out Michael was the one that was involved. There was always 3 people. Nobody said who they were. Nobody never told me so.
Now, what's it like watching your son, and I'm going to talk about you as if you're not here. What's it like?
What else is new?
What's it like watching your son rise up this ladder? Because, where we started, hey, you're just doing this show, nobody's really listening to it, versus to where we are now, where we got some eyes on us. What's that like for you?
To me, it makes me proud of him because what he went through, I really can't explain it. It's
because he watches every week and he calls me and critiques us every week.
I can't say it brought me closer because I was always hoped I was close to Mike. We were divorced and there was hope, but I took him. We went all over together. California, Super
Bowls, Pro Bowls.
I can't say I was ever out of his life.
Yeah.
So it's really, what I said, not to belabor it, the thing that hurts most is I really didn't know the story.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me. But aside from that, every way you're telling me, I don't understand it. But I'm just saying, like, why? Michael, you can tell me anything. He knows it. Tell me anything. Just don't lie to me.
Now, was there ever a moment, because you watch every episode, was there ever a moment where you said, Michael, why are you saying that? Like you're shouting at the TV like most parents do.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody's done that.
So can you pick out one moment where you're like, Michael, don't say that. Stop that.
No, not really.
Just a bunch of them. It's a collective.
Whatever you had to say, get off your chest. You know what I'm saying to you? The only thing I would tell them, when you mention a club, don't mention this and that. Talk about your thing, leave me out of it, it's the whole thing.
Well, Mr. Failace, I'm very, very happy that you came here. You always are here to support us. I'm always appreciative of you lending me your son. Well, maybe.
Comes to every one of our events, and like I said, he's our biggest fan. He watches every episode. He's the one that watches.
I can't wait for the Cooney one. He told me. Michael told me about it.
You just let a big one out of the bag there, because that's going to be our. No, it's quite all right. That's because I want people to watch to the end, because that's our season 3 opener.
Yeah.
He told me. He said, I don't know what I
mean, today's a good day to announce it, right?
Did I call them the Bayonne Bleeder?
I got to be honest with you. If Cooney would have charged him, there ain't nothing I can do. Maybe jump on his back and hold him off for a few seconds.
I knew Chip Wepner very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell him. But it
got tense. And I watched that episode, so I watched it to go through it, and it doesn't play well. It doesn't come across how tense it got in that studio.
That's what I thought.
It was
I don't
tense.
understand why. It must have been like
It was a trigger.
a thing that
Yeah.
I knew of. But I said, but everybody called it Brain Unbelievable.
I think Chuck is sick, and I think he saw that as a slight. I think it was a misunderstanding more than anything else. But I sat there and just spent 30 seconds to a minute trying to calm it down because I thought he was going to walk out.
Andrew's face cringed too.
Oh, it was.
So
bad.
that's a little prelude to season 3 opener.
Yeah, so that's going to come up next week. Mr. Failace, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Right.
I
I
can't.
understand it. But
I can't.
Mr. Flake.
Mr. Frank. I'll go Mr. Frank. I'll meet you halfway. Okay, Mr. Frank.
One of my son's friends called me Mr. Failace the other day. I said, "It's Mike. It's Mike." I said, "My father's still alive. He's Mr. Failace." I said, "I'm Mike."
I appreciate everything you did with you, really, because I feel that you really helped change his life.
Well,
He told me, and when I see it, I said, he's like made for one another. Really, he's really what.
There's
Now that we have our gay
LGBTQT cards, we can do that, and it's legal, so we're all
I want
right.
to tell you something. If everybody tells you marriage is perfect, one of them is cheap. That's the truth.
Yeah, this is true.
Say you, come on,
This
everybody
is
fights.
absolutely. It's a normal part of life. It's a normal part of life. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you're here with us to watch us go even further.
I hope I'm here.
Oh, you're gonna be.
Michael, he knows whatever I could do, just tell me. But one thing I want to say, he's my fault.
It's your fault.
He's my fault.
Okay,
So I got you to blame for
Okay,
it.
so everybody that gets mad at me on the show, get mad at my father.
Thanks.
I had him do things that people would say, I say, oh, that's my kid. I know what he's doing.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming and sitting down with us today, for supporting us all along the way. Well, we made it to season 3. Thank you so much for joining us. We got some great things coming up this season. We promised it on our season 2 opener, and I think we delivered, Mike.
Hey, Kev, I can't believe we made it this far. And have to give a shout out to all our followers.
You guys are the backbone of what we do here. You're every bit
We
as-
don't do it for us.
No.
Listen, I don't like coming up here and seeing you.
But also, big shout out to A&J Media, who has made this whole show possible that you're watching right now on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep going until nobody wants to listen to us.
Kev, I don't think we'd make it to season 3 if it wasn't for Andrew and A&J Media.
And Katia, too. And this,
Absolutely.
they have done some wonderful things for us. So thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing to support us. And we got some great things coming up on season 3 of the Suffering Podcast.
Coming soon.